Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakum. Today on the program, Vice President Kashim Shettima flags up palliative distribution in Sokoto, says federal government will prioritize the welfare of Nigerians. And later on the show, UAE lifts visa ban on Nigerians, resumes flight operations in the country. I'll be hanging out with Asukwo James and Paul Dada. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start by celebrating the life and time of Nigeria's first chartered accountant, Akintola Williams. As tribute continues to pour for him, President Bola Tinubu has joined family and friends and associates to mourn the doyen of the accounting in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, who passed at the age of 104 on Monday. Let's go, 104. He went beyond the life expectancy of Nigeria. Yeah. And
even twice that number.
I'm telling you,
because if
a life well spent.
This is when they say a life well spent, this is just a life well spent.
Because August 7, he celebrates his 104.
August 7, on the 9th, he celebrated his 104. It was 104. And I remember when he was 100, people were still not...
What is Baba is still around?
Still around, and he was still, jovial, and all that. This is someone that when you talk about integrity, he epitomizes integrity in word and in deed. And I think the accounting profession, those who are accountants today, would always remember him because he's the first indigenous. In fact, when you talk about the first indigenous accounting firm in Nigeria, is Akintola Williams and Co., which is now the Deloitte and Toshi that people now know.
Famous.
And he has been able to revolutionize accounting in Nigeria. And if you look at even in public service, when he was even in public service, he was always the first.
It runs in the family.
Yes.
As in, he now made sure his
children.
And now went further to enter the Guinness Book of Records.
Exactly. And don't forget, he also has, it's like the Williams. They have this thing about when one is in one particular profession, if the family will also join. Rotimi Williams is also his brother, and Rotimi Williams, they have the law, at their own.
Law.
Yeah, exactly. So for Sir, I would use Sir because I think he deserves it to be called Sir, because we will say Pa. He has lived a very wonderful life. Nigerians who pass through him would also miss him. Those who are chartered accountants today, because if you hear of ICANN of today, he was a participant in making sure that we have an institute called ICANN. Same with the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So he is everything that you want to talk about once it comes to accounting in Nigeria.
First in many ways. Oh.
Yeah. Well, Akintola didn't just live for 104 years, 104 meaningful years. As Asuka was talking, I was just reminded of biblical accounts in the book of Genesis of people that lived. Bible says this one was born, he lived, he had sons and daughters, then he died. Until the story gets to Enoch, then you now have, you walk with God. Okay, so a lot of people are born, they live, they raise families, and they die, and there's nothing to show for it. Some people pass through this world like birds, of the head, leaving no trace of their passage, while others pass like vehicles, leaving tire marks on the sand of time. Actually, Akintola Williams was one of those people, and we are remembered by what we have done. The first indigenous chartered accountant, the first person to set up, the first Nigerian to set up, or African to set up, the first chartered accounting firm. There were some other accounting firms before, but they weren't chartered. And he was involved in the founding of Nigerian Stock Exchange, the founding of the ICANN, and all of that. And then he's remembered for his transparency. And this is a lesson for a people. Because, you know, see, history will either be kind or unkind to you, depending on who you have been. Now we remember Akintola Williams very fondly, but there are people that we remember in the other way. There are people we remember for stealing Nigerian money, taking it abroad, and then Nigeria, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Abacha. And today we talk about Abacha loot. Nobody talks about Akintola Williams loot, right? So we talk about Akintola, an epitome of transparency, an epitome of excellence in professionalism, and it's a lesson to people who are still alive.
And when you look at, you know, we've lost a lot of people just earlier this year too. The people that first in many things we've done, and we pray that God will grant the
family
Williams family to bear this irreplaceable.
I think the Williams will be very happy that they have.
They come just in one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in every generation we usually have people like that. You know, and once we have them like that, when they are walking away from us, we should always be happy. You know, yes, he has lived in the huge sounds of time. You know, and then we will continue to, you know, appreciate the Williams, because if the family members were not there to take care of Babati when he died, I'm not sure we'll be celebrating him today.
His soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Another twist has been introduced into the feud between the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shuaibu. The embattled deputy governor has officially resumed at his new office outside the government house in Benin City. This followed a memo to that effect by the permanent secretary in the office of the head of service to the permanent secretary in the deputy governor's office. Asuko, this is ridiculous. Governor Obaseki is such a petty governor. I'm sorry to say that.
I don't.
Philip Shuaibu has gone to court. He has
withdrawn, you know, but I thought the governor was saying, going to, you know, forgive and let, you know, everything go.
That office.
This is the new office, because we got visuals of the new office. You know, he has packed everything from the government house itself, and they now moved him to this place that used to be the procurement, the public procurement office. You know, that was built by Adams Oshomole in 2014. So he moved him here. So the deputy governor, if you want to meet him now, you go to number 7, then it's Osadebia Avenue. So that is where he is now.
So it won't have any,
I want to believe that the deputy governor... No, he's going to touch this place. I don't know if the governor will give him small money to touch this place. Because with the way he's looking, it's not looking befitting at all. But
what happened to that cordial relationship? What happened to that 5 and 6?
You know, the thing is,
Philip Shuaibu is known to be a very, very active deputy governor.
Yeah, this is
you see him, he represents the governor everywhere.
There are two things in life.
Was given the latitude.
Yeah, exactly.
So at what point in time?
This is
in 2020. To this level?
In 2020, they had a very, very wonderful and unbreakable relationship, whereby even Shuaibu had to, as Yoruba would say, Oju, Ore or Babae, which is Adams Oshomole, someone who he was very, very close, and people saw him as his father, you know. And
so this is the new.
We are thinking, yes, we are thinking nothing will happen to both of them until now. Shuaibu said he has an ambition, but the governor is looking for loyalty. The governor should know, you know, will the governor for loyalty decide? And even Shuaibu says here is even loyal to him, you know. So, but from the things I've been getting, from the feelers I've been getting, the governor doesn't want the next successor to come from Edo North. And that is where the contention is. And the governor is also saying that, you know what, let's concentrate on governance. But, you know, in politics, the next election is in 2024. So if you don't start now, to start doing consultation, to start knowing who is behind you, before you know it,
the train will leave you.
Honestly. So that is where somebody who like Philip Shuaibu, who is a core politician, an activist, he understands the game. He knows the essence of time, Ayo. So he's not looking at, oh, let me just wait until the governor will say, okay, I hereby endorse you. No, let me start the legwork. So that by the time it gets to that time, I would have been home and dry. I know that, okay, I'll just be doing some little things. So the government is supposed to understand that. I'm also angry because you said something about him being petty. I was watching a man of God that was saying something about people should not bring politics into church. This is church, for crying out. If you know that somebody is in the church, you should be having a forgiving heart. A deputy governor came to you to come and shake you, and you turn your face away, and you say you want to pray to God. That is where I got angry with the governor. He should have been matured enough to tell the DSS or whoever was there, move away, let me shake him. Whatever you want to do, it can be outside the church. But inside the church is a sacred place. You should have forgiven the deputy governor from there at that point, whether he wants to pray to God, forgiving him, and then tomorrow you will go and fight him, but not inside the church.
And this for the optics?
Yes. Ayo. But I don't know. I don't know how people see this.
You sat down.
You sat down and you knew that your deputy governor was coming to you, but you ignored him. And you say you want to pray to God and God to answer you. It's not possible.
Now, how long are we going to continue with this? Because governance will definitely suffer in the midst of this. And the people that will suffer are the people of Edo State. You don't need to go around Benin City, Edo State, this rainy season. Anywhere you go to, go to the Ring Road, go to Benin City is just like something else this rainy season. So nobody's talking about solving the problem.
I just hope the ceiling of that new
it's not
leaking. You know why that thought came to my head? I saw someone mopping the floor. I hope it's not because water seeped through the roof and the ceiling. Anyway, I just look at the roads too. The road leading to, look at that pond.
Yes. That is a typical Benin City site right now. Okay. Anywhere. GRA everywhere. Flooded.
The truth of the matter is that conflict between governors and deputy governors is not new in Nigeria. However, it is the way it is being managed. I mean, for crying out loud, there's nothing wrong in a deputy governor having a political ambition. The governor is not bound to support him, but it shouldn't create unnecessary tension. I remember in 2003, in Lagos, when President Bola Tinubu was going away, a lot of commissioners showed interest.
So with this one, the deputy governor will not go near.
No. You can see his own office, this new office.
So he won't see the governor, he won't meet the governor.
His access will be restricted. Access will be restricted. That's the truth. So I was saying that a lot of people came out, to indicating their interest. The governor there didn't discourage anybody, but he had the support for Fashola. What I'm trying to say is that this show of shame going on is not necessary. Obaseki is not even pretending in the public.
Exactly.
At least pretend for diplomatic reasons.
Mean?
You understand what I'm saying? Like if you say petty, if there's a word that is stronger than petty, we can use it. You understand?
I even saw the governor's portrait even inside the new office.
Normal
definitely
normal protocol. Yeah.
No, there are some people who are, if they are angry forever, so they won't even put it.
No. And the funny thing is how did things go wrong? Philip Shuaibu was. It was a deputy governor that had the latitude,
Yes.
He had
was visible. No other deputy governor.
Exactly.
Was as visible.
You mentioned the way.
Shuaibu. I remember when they had their national sports festival and everything. Philip Shuaibu was the chairman. He was the person that regularly.
He even dragged Oshiomhole down more than his principal. It was like the mouthpiece of the administration against Oshiomhole. But this should have been. Better managed, at least in the eyes of the public. If the governor doesn't trust him enough to succeed, for whatever reason, allow him to do whatever he wants to do. They will go for primary, and then if he wins, fine. If he does not win, it's also fine.
I think we need the kind of constitutional amendment that the deputy governor, maybe the role should be defined or something like that. That will not be 100% at the mercy of the governor, because right now, Philip Shuaibu is just.
I think you are correct, because in the constitution is like the deputy governor does not know his role.
Oh,
like for
the governor can wake up in the morning and sack all your aides.
Okay, let me
wake up in the morning
for
and tell
this
you
one
that
now. For
get
Philip
your office
Shaibu,
out and go to another.
The role is the two major things he's doing is revenue generation and sports. So every other thing is not there. So except the governor says, okay, please go and do cut tape in one road. That is when he will go there. It's not that and then maybe in some other state they will say deputy governor will be in charge of works. Some will say deputy governor, like when Lagos, then you'll be in charge of education. Yeah. You know. So, but I think this constitution has to be amended in such a way that the deputy governors will know, okay, when I want to be a deputy governor, this is what I will be doing. Maybe in charge of this, that. And not that the governor will now say, if I think my wife will be the one to handle revenue generation. You handle education. No. So the lawmakers, as they are listening to us, this should be something they can start thinking of for them to amend the constitution in such a way that all the role of the deputy governor should be properly defined so that everybody will know where his own power starts and where it ends. Because as it stands today, Ayo, a deputy governor will continue to remain a rubber stamp. Whatever the governor will continue to just a spare tire, sorry. Whatever the governor says, go and do, that is what he will do. And that's why we are having all this friction. And that if a deputy governor has ambition, his principal will say, why do you have ambition? I'm the one that you are supposed to come and tell first. Before you go and say you want to succeed me. No, it shouldn't be like that. You know. Even the constitution even gives him the right anyway to contest. You know, so we just have to start thinking how we can make sure that we don't have such situation across the country. Because any time that every 4 years or 8 years, we keep having this issue, it's very few governors that you see that they would gladly want to give their deputy governor the role for them to succeed them. And all the time, most of them, when once it gets closer to that election period, you start hearing that a deputy governor has been sacked by the House of Assembly. You know, by the House of... So every time they want to impeach. And at the end of the day, they will remove. Then later, they will now say, okay, the court has said, okay, return them.
A lot of things it has to be removed.
The way it is now, if Governor Obaseki want to go for the jugular now, it's just a matter of him instructing the state.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That court case preempting his move. It's just a matter of, guys.
It's very, very unfortunate that even House of Assemblies have become the appendage of the governor. So the governor can instruct them at his will to do whatever. So where's the independence of that organ of government? You understand? This same Obaseki did not inaugurate
for years.
For years. This is not monarchy. This is not a monarchy. This is democracy. So when a governor begins to act as if it's an absolute monarch, you know, it leaves much to be desired. I think that the Constitution, just as we are saying, should be amended to checkmate governors like this who want to be larger than life, who want to live like an emperor. Okay?
So everybody should wait till you announce your successor in November.
That is what
before you start politics.
Exactly.
This is what happens when men are bigger than institutions. You know.
I think I have a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Sunday Orowali. I'm calling from Kano.
All right, go ahead, please, Sunday.
Please, Ayo, allow your panelists to express their mind. You are interrupting them. Allow them to express their mind, please.
Okay, sir.
Allow them to express their mind. We are listening to them. We are enjoying your program. Please allow them to express themselves.
Yes, sir. Noted. Sunday. Any other thing?
Thank you.
Okay, my panelists.
Okay, so
fire on.
Let's express our mind. No, what we are just trying to say is that I think is what Edo people really need is governance. And so far so good. I want to tell you for free, Ayo. I'm not sure there's anybody in Edo that will say, oh, they are entirely happy with how Edo State is today compared to how it was before. In terms of road infrastructure, everything has decayed. And then the governor who is supposed to sit down and, see to these things would always want to blame the federal government for everything. All these issues are not some things that he's supposed to concern himself with. If you have a successor, your deputy says, "Oh, I want to be governor." I will keep quiet. If I were to be him, I will keep quiet. I won't say anything. I will keep quiet. Sure, the time will come whereby we'll be able to talk about who is going to succeed me. I'll be doing my own work. I won't tell him who I'm going to endorse. You want to go and do consultation? Go and do it. And then I'll be sending him the errands that I need to send him. But trying to come out, and begin to fight and begin to show all this kind of unnecessary emotion, it doesn't speak well of somebody like, in quotes, somebody like the governor, Obaseki.
People believe sometimes it feels 8 years is just, power is transient. 8 years.
Well, I still want to emphasize what I was saying earlier about men being stronger than institutions. That is why you have a governor can instruct in the House of Assembly to deal with a deputy governor. That is why you have a governor, you have a governor ostensibly instigating councillors, to remove, to suspend the chairman because the chairman challenges him on financial probity or something like that. That is why you have a minister and an attorney general who doesn't like the face of maybe EFCC head, and then, begins to practice all sort of shenanigans. We must, for us to make any meaningful progress in this country, we must build our institutions. In some will be stronger than men because they outlive men in the office. Governors will come and go, but the office of the governor will remain. Amen. Lawmakers will come and go, but the state of assembly will remain. Deputy governors will come and go, but the office will remain. So we must respect those institutions. We must give honor to those institutions. So when men become stronger than institutions, and institutions are at their mercy of their whims and caprices, you are not going to have any progress. Our progress will be stunted. So something should be done about this.
Okay. All right. There's no doubts about the economic hardship in the land, but it's relieving to see the distribution of palliatives to cushion the impacts on citizens. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has just stated the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to prioritize the welfare of Nigerians. The Vice President stated this at the flag-off ceremony for distribution of palliative worth 5.1 billion naira by the Sokoto state government to people of the states. As well, these palliative thing to cushion the effect. I saw some visuals yesterday. It's very worrisome where they're trying to distribute, and how are we going to make sure that this thing trickle down?
Yeah, Ayo, I know all the state governors are trying to, distribute this palliative and seeing how everybody can, get something from it. In the South, I'm not really sure that I've seen anything as large as this, as in what I saw in Sokoto, whereby grains were given for free, and then the only thing we saw were boxes, and in some states they just give you small boxes, having oil and small bags of rice that even in less than 2-3 days is over, So what we need is for people to begin to monitor. I hope the federal government or the state government as well, they are monitoring those who are distributing these palliatives. Because we don't want a situation whereby governors will come and then at the end of the day, they will tell you that billions have been spent for palliative, but people will still be complaining that they've not seen this thing. Even now I can ask you, have you seen palliative? If not, and we are staying in Lagos, we know it won't get to everybody, but at least it should be able to get to certain set of people who are not, even if they are not in our own level, but at least certain level whereby we know that even if me, I cannot get, my gate man should be able to get it, So we should get to that level. What happened in Sokoto is good, because we are talking about grains now, because from the grains now, they'll be able to know how to manage it properly. And for the vice president to be involved in it, it means that it is real business. They are serious about giving palliative to those who really deserve it, you know.
All right. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this break.
Home from work, in the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Journalist Hangout, and I have Asuko, James, and Paul that are in the studio. Paul, when you look at the effectiveness, because a lot of people, that's where people like me, that's my concern. That's okay. It should get to destination. It should reach the people that this thing, designed to actually reach. I've been sure. So it's a big concern that to go through any kind of form of auditing.
Yeah, that has always been our concern, because release of funds, an aspect of release of funds in this country is something we are very used to. So amount have been voted for this project, for that, or for this. We are very much conversant. I mean, we hear of that all the time, but the reality is often different from what we read in the newspapers, what we hear in the news. The reality is different because a lot of people will tell you that this thing didn't get to us. I mean, most people can't even talk about maybe their neighbor got it or their cousin got it, and yet we read that people got it. So that is where monitoring comes in. And apart from the federal government monitoring, I think this is also what the Labour should be doing. You know, if you remember, when GKB and I came the other time, we talked about, instead of Labour always saying we are going on strike, we are going on strike, we are going on strike, we are going on strike because of palliatives, let Labour set up teams in the different states. For example, we know that this is happening in Sokoto. I wonder if Labour was represented in that program. The distribution of the grains. Was the NLC represented? Was NLC invited? Or did the NLC invite itself? You don't even need to be invited. Invite yourself, even if you are not invited. Now, it is in states that their governments have not shown responsibility, that NLC or organized labor should take action. If they want to picket the state secretariats, let them go ahead. If the workers in that state will declare strike, let them go ahead. But because if you now go on strike because you think that maybe palliatives are not in maybe a few states, then you don't know what you are doing. That's the truth. So we must ensure that these palliatives get to the people. And then there should be a way of monitoring those who are also maybe the public servants or officials who are supposed to distribute those things. Because we've seen people complain that, I think I shared a story some years back, I interviewed a girl, a lady, a prostitute, and she said, look, I ran away from the refugee camp, a Liberian girl, I ran away from the refugee camp at Oru, Ogun State. I said, you know why I ran away? Because whenever they say, okay, maybe give them, say, maybe 100 bags of rice, for example. Maybe only 2 get to us. Hunger wanted to kill me. So I ran away. So she ran away from Ijebu. She ran to Takwa Bay. Takwa Bay. There's a place in Takwa Bay they also call that place Obalende. Takwa Bay is usually a sleepy community, except during when you have But there's a particular place, I don't know whether it's still there, in Takwa Bay. They call that place Obalin. They have a nightlife there. And they call the place Liberian Quarters. That place is a place for prostitutes, you know, as of then. I don't know whether it still exists. Many of them ran to that place. All of Liberian girls ran to that place, and they were operating their easy virtue business. So it's not something that should continue to define us. You know, let these palliatives get to the people that they are meant for, the poorest of the poor. Nigerians who are feeling the biting impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy. That's what we want. So if you say you are giving this and giving that for subsidy, for palliatives, and people are not getting it, then you're not doing anything. So that's the way I see it.
If you have to distribute the palliative in Lagos,
it can't be enough. In Lagos alone, I know it can't be enough. But Lagos is supposed, if other states are saying 5 billion, Lagos is supposed to be talking about 20 billion palliative. But at least for it to get to closer to almost 20 million people. I'm not joking. You understand? If Sokoto, with their population, they are giving 5 billion, Lagos should be talking about 20 billion. So that, and when we talk about 20 billion, I want to see a situation whereby, by now, prices, all the BRT buses and most of the buses that they are using in Lagos should have been converted to CNG, one way or the other. We know it's not easy. It's going to take a lot of time, but at least it's something that they can plan and then they begin to do it.
Yeah.
And then in the north, they shouldn't be using diesel-powered vehicles anymore. Because if we really want to solve this problem about the removal of fuel subsidy, we should begin to look at alternatives. What are the alternatives? We have solar-powered buses that they can use in the north, that companies are there that can do it for them. You know, CNG can be used in the south, okay, and even also in the north. So, but we can begin to do this so that at the end of the day, if me and Paul, we do not want to drive our vehicle, we can say we want to take bus because it's cheaper. And I'll take bus from my house to the office. Not that I want to drive my car and I'll spend close to 30,000 for me to fuel my car and I'll start driving. At the end of the day, I still spend almost 10,000 or thereabout, you know, with the traffic and everything. So this palliative thing, they should be able to break it down. In Lagos, yeah, there was a time in the local government, our local government, I saw people lined up. They were selling stuff at maybe 1,000 and all that, you know. But since then, I've not heard. Sometimes I pass there, I've not seen them lining up again, meaning that palliative don't finish. You understand? So it's something that they need to do consistently. If they want to be doing it every week, they need to announce for people to go out there and get this thing, so that houses will get this stuff. Because as it stands, to you and I, Ayo, people still think that some people have pocketed the money. We've just had the money, but some people, because if it doesn't get to your gate man, I'm using gate man because at least they are that level. If it doesn't get to your gate man, because your gate man that will say, Ogami, I went to that local government, I lined up, they gave me one box. There was oil inside. There was a granite, there was a gari inside. There was a salt and all that. They are the ones that will come and tell you the info. You are not the one that will go and line up. Then you now know that, okay, fine, this thing has gotten to this guy. But when you don't hear anything, and then the guy does not even know that there was anything palliative, these are the set of people that will always be angry. And this is the set of people that NLC will always want to go and call and say, let's go and do soli outside. You understand? So we need to get to that level whereby the majority of Nigerians get palliative, no matter how small that the palliative is. So that at the end of the day, even government itself will be confident that they've been able to get to a large number of Nigerians.
Okay, let's take Afolabi from Songwater. Thank you for joining us, Afolabi.
Thank you so much. I greet everybody in the house, and including the listeners. I think on the palliative, I can vividly remember in 1985, when we have problems of hunger in Nigeria during the time of IBP. He introduced one system for which everybody was adequately touched. He makes sure that immediately he assumed office, bread has started escalated that time when they are selling flour for 800 naira. He makes sure that he removed tariff of wheat flour and make flour to become 200 naira per bag. And immediately introduced that thing, the price of bread come down significantly for everybody. And we all shouted. What's up the government now to subsidize for wheat, whereby the flour that is being sold for 50,000 now will be sold for, say, 20,000 or thereabouts.
Thank you.
Everybody will be.
Thank you for that.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, that was a very brilliant one. Because, look, it's not everything you have to remove subsidy over. There are certain things that have to be subsidized. What is said about subsidizing the price of wheat, that was a very brilliant one. It's not just the physical distribution of food items and all of that. You need to subsidize certain things. That was what some of us cried when some discos were thinking of increasing the tariff of what's it called, electricity. You see, if fuel subsidy has to go, the subsidy on the price of electricity does not have to go. In fact, we have to reduce. The other time I read in the news that NRC was talking about increase in the price of obtaining meters. You know, all of these things ought not to be. Government cannot remove subsidy on everything. It's not possible. Certain things have to be subsidized. That is the true palliative for the people. The CNG buses we are talking about, CNG, even CNG, is it tricycles? The Ogun State government was talking about the CNG vehicles as if it was going to happen almost immediately. I don't know what's the update on that now. At least we haven't heard anything about it. Let us make sure that these CNG vehicles are available latest in January. We need to start having some of these things happening quickly. People will complain less if the speed of delivering the palliatives, the incentives, the palliative rather, is if we have a higher speed, of delivering these things.
All right. And finally, some cheering news came from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, on Monday. The oil-rich country has lifted the visa ban imposed on Nigeria travelers after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu and his UAE counterparts, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi. Another landmark agreement at the meeting between the two leaders was the immediate resumption of flights scheduled of both Etihad Airlines and Emirates Airlines in and out of Nigeria without any further delay. Asuko, how did we get here? I thought Dubai used to be the next destination. Before you say Jack Robinson, the visa will be ready in 24 hours and we're off to Dubai. And
so somebody that doesn't even miss it every month, back then, until the issues about most Nigerians becoming very unruly. And at some point, we also had a serious row between our airline, the Nigerian airline, and theirs, as in Air Peace, having to, fly there. Because Air Peace, just like the BASA agreement, we are supposed to have an airline also touching down there, taking our people there. So we requested, they requested for 3 slots, but they were given 1. But we gave them unfettered access for them to always come in
11
at any time. Yeah, at least almost 11. So at some point it was like Air Peace had the cheapest tickets if you want to go to Dubai. And they didn't even want them to even land in where everybody was landing. So it's just like, okay, you want to come to Lagos. They say go and land in, say, Osun. And then you start driving from Osun to Lagos. So it wasn't, Air Peace lost a lot of, customers with that, and they had to shout. But all in all, I think we had issues with most of our Nigerians just being un-Nigerian. You can't go to another man's country and then you begin to go into drugs, begin to turn their culture upside down, and you allow them to, and want them to fold their hands and begin to look at you. No, So at some point, I think the former president, tried to intervene.
Yeah.
But it was rejected. Mm-hmm. So not that he didn't intervene, he tried, but perhaps I think why this actually succeeded, we got this success, was because President Bola Tinubu decided to take it personally, to say, I am going to use my 2 koro eye and 2 legs to get to UAE and see the president myself. So that is the difference between
wanting to
him
dialogue with them directly
and the president, Buhari. You understand? Not about making phone call, but let me go there to listen and hear what the problem was. And that is why we got that landmark achievement yesterday.
Well, let's congratulate Nigeria. Let's probably it has to do with the fact that our current president has this international clout, the kind of clout that I think only former President Obasanjo had, when he was president. He enjoys a lot of goodwill now.
Outside.
Even the agreements reached, Dubai, UAE is going to invest in Nigeria and all of that. Yes, congratulations. But I am also, my joy is guarded, and I'll tell you why. The question is, when did UAE become a nation? 1971. UAE became a nation in 1971. 6 emirates came together, then 1 joined in 1972. Now, of course, it's an oil-rich nation. But this nation diversified from oil, invested its oil revenues in healthcare infrastructure, tourism. Tourism is a big foreign exchange earner for the UAE. Dubai now has look at the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. What about the Dubai Mall, the Dubai Fountain, the Miracle Gardens, where you have, I think, 45 million for 5 million flowers arranged in different patterns and all of that. Now, the question is, what is happening to Nigeria? Why are we still toddling at this time? Why we are celebrating that the visa restriction has been lifted. To me, we look like a slave that is given a temporary freedom, or maybe freedom to marry by his master. But the slave forgets that even the wife and the children will still belong to the master. But until the slave is set free, you understand? You are no longer a slave. That is when you can truly celebrate. What is happening to Nigeria? This is the Nigeria that drove away Ghanaians some years. You had a lot of Ghanaians in Nigeria. Then you had this Ghana must. That's how Ghana must go became popular. Now, Nigeria is beholden to nations.
Okay, hang on there. We have this caller from Abuja. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, hello, Ayo.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes, good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Obochi. Yes, my name is Obochi. I'm calling you from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to talk on the first 2 topics that you talked about, the Edo issue and the palliative.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, for the Edo, I think that the governor is just being petty, if you ask me. There are more pressing issues that are facing him in Edo State. So Philip Shaibu's issue should not be an issue for him. But he has left the issues and talking about Philip Shaibu. Philip Shaibu is entitled to his whatever he wants to do as the deputy governor. I don't see that as an obstacle from hindering the governor from doing what he wants to do. In terms of performing his duties as governor of the state. Now, for the palliatives, why are we doing something that is temporary? The food will finish, but the hunger will remain. So why would we now see how to treat or give Nigerians some certain skills so that they can fend for themselves? At the end of these palliatives that is being given, palliatives, what is the meaning? Relieving symptoms without dealing with the cause of the condition.
Thank you, Bochi. Thank you. Our time is fast spent. Thank you for your contribution.
All right, let me just complete my thoughts. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, President Bola Tinubu is on the right, taking the right direction, but we must get to a point where Nigeria will live up to its name as the giant of Africa, because already we are giant-turned Lilliputians. That's what we are at the moment. Now, let's also develop our local industry. Let's develop our economy. Let us become the cynosure of all eyes. Let us diversify our economy. Let us earn more foreign exchange. Let us be a productive economy. By now, we should be the ones denying people visa, placing visa ban on countries that maybe are not doing well. Remember, Seychelles has also placed, imagine a country like Seychelles, like Ethiopia, placing visa ban on Nigerians. So it's very, very important that we build our country. And Nigerians that go to other countries to misbehave should learn, should desist from that. I know that Unjuri Ngelale, the president spokesman, said that the fact that Ajuri Ngelale, I meant to say, said, don't think because the visa ban is lifted, it's going to be business as usual. I think UAE is going to be more, what's the word again?
They will restrict a lot.
They will restrict a lot of that. They will do more scrutiny of those who are applying for their visa.
And at the point in time, the airlines couldn't repatriate their funds.
About $300 million.
So this became a big source of wealth.
Yeah. So I think that now is not part of the things on the table, but I know at some point it will be, because we need to sort out that. Because they can't be doing business and they are not making money. You can't move your funds to your country. So Dada said a lot of things. In those 1970s, we had a military government then. So there's nothing we can do. The only thing they were doing was to build bridges for us. The major bridges you are seeing is during it was during Gowon's time that they were doing all those bridges in 1970s. So those ones are not being futuristic. But this is a government in UAE that you are saying, they were futuristic. They knew that, our country is a desert. How do we turn it around? And they did. Okay? So if we now have a government in place that is trying to say, okay, fine, let's start afresh, I think we should give them kudos. I'm just angry that, just like you said, so many countries are giving us, don't come, ban, left, right, and center. It's because of us, Nigerians. We don't respect ourselves.
Exactly.
You go to another man's country and you want to turn to a superstar there. Well, instead of you to be calm and respect the laws there, you want to turn yourself into a nuisance. No. And even right here in Nigeria, some people are still not happy that they are seeing that UAE leads to visa ban. Some Nigerians are still saying it's a lie. How can we reorientation of people's mind? And that is why the president is always saying we need to change our mindset. Nigerians need to change their mindset. If you are leaving Nigeria and going to another man's country, change your mindset. If you are in Rome, behave like the Romans. If they say good morning, follow them and say good morning. If they clap in the morning, follow them and clap. It's not making you mumu. It's just that you are just trying to obey their laws. Simple.
Can I just... foreign exchange, we spend money.
Yeah.
And if you know the number of flights that leave Nigeria to Dubai, go there.
Good dollars.
Dollars. Yeah. We even buy houses. Nigerians.
Exactly.
They are so much into real estate in Dubai now.
It was even said that the UAE was making up to 3.3 billion from Nigerians who were flying to, on weekly basis, who were flying to the UAE to make money. So let's also build our country, let our country also be a tourist destination. And let's stop dragging our country down. The people who are very bitter because their preferred candidate lost should understand that we can't play politics forever. The funny thing is that, when I looked at, after the Court of Appeal judgment, I discovered that both Atiku and Peter Obi did not disrespect the judiciary in their statements. they only said they were not satisfied. But I've seen people who follow the all eyes on the judiciary gang, saying the judges were bribed, they were this. Some are unprintable words for the judges. We can't continue like this. This is not the way to build a country. All this, Tinubu not my president. So who is your president? Who is your president?
Well, you carry the passport that if Tinubu does not sign.
Who is the president of Nigeria? Is Atiku the president of Nigeria? Is Obi the president of Nigeria? As we speak now, Tinubu is the president of Nigeria.
Exactly.
And if the Supreme Court validates what the appeal court has said, he's going to be your president. You wait. If you want to have another president, wait till the next 4 years. That's the way it was. But for now, let us build our country. Let's stop dragging our country down. This is the only country we have. And most of these people that are saying this, they don't even know the way to the airport. They don't even know. They have never even been inside a plane. They don't even know how the airport looks like. They have only seen the airport on TV, in pictures. They don't know the way to any embassy. And they don't even have the money to travel. And yet, they join Nigerians based abroad who are dragging the country down. Where is this country? Do you want this country to implode? What is wrong with our people?
I think, Ayo, before we go, so that I don't... now that they've lifted this ban, I think the president and his team should look for a situation whereby our own airlines can also fly into Dubai, so that the agreement does not look one-sided. Okay? So if Air Peace wants to go, Air Peace can go. If others can go, Ibom Air, is a very good airline. If they want to move there and say, okay, I want to be flying Dubai, they should be able to say, we go to Dubai. Nothing is bad in it. So that agreement should be expanded in such a way that it shouldn't just be only Emirates, Etihad coming to Nigeria making the dollars, and we are not also making dollars. Okay?
Charge you for
it. They should give us more slots. We are not one. Give us more slots.
All right, I'll tell you the gentleman, Paul Dada. I want to thank you for your contribution, and the pirated and Asuko. Thank you for your contribution, and that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 for journalist Hangout on Sunday on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzuba. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Do you spend the night trying to get comfortable? Your knees rub bone on bone. Your back and hips ache. You wake up in pain? Not anymore. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Contour Legacy Pillow, the patented, ergonomically designed tapered leg pillow that naturally fits the contours of your legs, knees and thighs to help align your spine and alleviate pain. Watch, when you sleep on your side, your leg falls forward, twisting your pelvis and lower back, putting pressure on your spine, hip and sciatic. But the Contour Legacy Pillow cushions your knees and cradles your legs, relieving stress on joints while restoring your lower back alignment. Sleeping on your side, your leg comes over and puts you out of alignment, causing lower back pain, hip pain, even knee pain. By using the Contour Legacy Pillow, it restores the natural alignment of the spine, helping to alleviate pain